Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you.
Aston's DBX crossover coupe is set to launch next year under the name Aston Martin Varekai. The Aston Martin DBX looks set to be called Varekai when it reaches production in 2019, after the British brand applied to trademark the name. The DBX is gearing up for production, over 2 years after the concept made its debut at the Geneva Motor Show. But the final car is widely tipped to adopt a different badge, and an application on 10th of March from Aston Martin Lagonda aims to register Varekai. The name is best known as a show by Cirque du Soleil, but crucially Aston has applied to trademark the word under a classification for passenger cars and racing cars and parts and fittings therefor, to demonstrate no conflict with the stage show. Aston Martin has declined to comment, but Varekai fits the firm's V nomenclature policy following on from Vantage, Vanquish, and Valkyrie. And it's a word from a Romany, nomadic dialect that means wherever. This is likely to be a reference to the off-road ability of the DBX, which will be the first SUV in the firm's history and a vehicle that company boss Andy Palmer said will deliver the utility required from this type of car. The Aston Martin Varekai will be built at an all-new factory in St Athan, Wales. Palmer has stated that prototypes are likely to roll off the line before the end of 2018. With first deliveries to customers at some point in the following 12 months. Aston Martin's New South Wales manufacturing facility is on track for 2019 completion, as construction of Phase 1 has now been finished. The state-of-the-art plant will build Aston's new Varekai SUV coupe next year. The new factory in St Athan, a former Ministry of Defence site, will run alongside Aston's Gaydon HQ, directly creating 750 new jobs. The first batch of technicians have been recruited, while the Varekai's assembly line is being put into place. The Varekai will be a hand-built car, and is the brand's first entry into the booming high-end SUV market. The DBX concept was shown with an all-wheel drive, all-electric powertrain, but it's understood that conventional petrol engines will also be offered in the production car. Though the DBX concept's silhouette resembles a two-door coupe, the Varekai production model will be a rival for the Bentley Bentayga, Porsche Cayenne, Lamborghini Urus, and Maserati Levante. It will still be a few years until we see the car in production form, but the latest images of the concept car represent our best look yet at the design that will inspire Aston's groundbreaking SUV. Geneva Motor Show debut for DBX concept. The DBX luxury GT car concept from Aston Martin surprised us all by appearing at the Geneva Motor Show in 2015. It was the first time we'd ever seen or heard of the car that represents a whole new direction for the brand. The Aston Martin DBX concept is the British firm's first all-electric, all-wheel drive crossover, and we now know it will lead directly to a production model. It's described as Aston's first family-friendly GT and also has a more environmentally responsible approach, helping to offset emissions from the rest of the cars built by the firm. The DBX is a striking car, with a modern take on the traditional Aston Martin styling elements. The wide grille keeps it in line with the brand's image, along with the svelte front profile, but the higher ride height demonstrates the firm's intentions for non-sporting capabilities. At the rear, two-tone buttresses adorn the sloping roofline, and the rear end sports familiar Aston LED lights. Speaking at the Geneva Motor Show in 2015, Aston design director Marek Reichman explained, the DBX, is a concept that introduces the idea of a crossover GT. It will be more accommodating in its final form, with 5 doors. To achieve that, the wheelbase doesn't need to change much, but the roofline will. The electric powertrain is definitely realistic. It's an inevitability that emission-free driving will come, and to some customers in the future it will be a requirement. To be sold globally, it will probably need a choice of conventional powertrains, too. The solar trickle chargers on the rear parcel shelf are to run the aircon when the car is standing in the sun, important in core markets like the Middle East, US and China. These floating pillars will become a signature on our more gentile models, like the DB9. Aston Martin DBX, technical specs. Technical details are scarce as yet, but we know the DBX concept sports a powerful electric motor in place of the firm's traditional V12 engine. Power is also sent to all four wheels for the first time on an Aston. Despite the advanced engineering underneath, Chairman Dr. Andy Palmer was quick to point out that this is clearly not a production-ready sports GT car and instead previews what a luxury GT could be. I am solely focused on making Aston Martin sustainable and relevant for the long term, explained Palmer. Our future can't be based on a narrow product portfolio and one type of customer. If we stick with the current lineup, we restrict our numbers and inhibit ourselves from continually renewing the portfolio. An Aston should be rare, but we can grow carefully and become relevant to more customers. Our core sports cars will always be capped to 7,000 units. But by the end of the decade, we will replace every car in the range and add 3 new models. Every model will have striking design differences, you can see that in the DB10 and Vulcan. Palmer also spoke to Auto Express about Aston Martin's 3-tier family, sports, luxury and SUV. The DBX is the third pillar, which is the reinvention of the sports car. Each of those cars has a clear customer in front of it, Palmer told us.
Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you.